So Victoria, is there a way, a pathway to ignite the compassion? Like I'm hopeful, I'm not around this issue necessarily, but that we are on this cusp in our of moving from this fear, hate-based government and society, basically, to maybe opening the door to some compassion and kindness and hope. Do you see a pathway there, or or is there a different kind of fear that we instill that's going to move us forward?
A very good question. I only see a pathway there in Maine right now if the administration is willing to work in a transparent fashion with the legislature, with the community organizations, with the young people who have experienced the system and the adults who have experienced the system. Because I think ultimately we have similar goals, not all the same, but similar goals, but change is so hard. And it's very hard to work within a system that you're being told has harmed people when you personally have tried to do your best work. And so I think people's personal feelings, which I understand, and no one who's trying to do this work is saying these people who work in the system are bad. Nobody, but we're learning as evolution, and we have new evidence and we study. And so if we are able to have those conversations and realize that we are ultimately all moving towards the same goal, I think only then can we really make some change. But I think to Grayson's point about redefining what public safety is, because I think that we've been, we aren't up to speed with what that means with the public. Mm-hmm. Because, what is public safety? It means reducing recidivism, which is less crime, which means less victims, right? With less people getting hurt. So that's public safety. So how do we get to public safety? What do the experts say about that? What does the research and the data and the science say about that? So then once we have that, which we already do, because in the juvenile system, we have the data, our system has been assessed a number of times already, so we know what to do. We have to have the political will to get there. And that doesn't only involve the DOC, right? Because they are at the end of the road when all the other systems fail. It does involve the police, the Maine State Police and the local police, because they're the ones who arrest. It does involve the district attorneys and the assistant district attorneys, because they're the ones who make the decisions to prosecute. Mm-hmm. And it involves lawmakers, because we set that bar. And I think the biggest piece there is when we have reform efforts to meet best practices, to meet the evidence-based recommendations for reducing recidivism and creating less victims, those reform measures are opposed by these systems folks saying we have to protect victims, so therefore we have to incarcerate people. And so then we're stymied because we're not transparent and talking to each other.
Yeah, so it sounds like breaking down those barriers and those silos to really say what, and a redefinition, a redefinition of public safety, a redefinition, and paying attention back to Charlotte's initial point of what works, to keep, what's that definition of crazy, keep doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results, right?